Hi everyone, my name is Erica and I will be introducing you to phonetics and phonology today. We'll start with phonetics. Phonetics is the scientific study of the sounds of language, right? So we'll be dealing a lot with consonants and vowels. I will also introduce you to the IPA, which is the International Phonetic Alphabet. In the IPA, there's a certain, or every sound will be represented with a symbol. And this symbol is usually found inside brackets. So, like in this word right here, pero, the letter R, right, will be represented with a silly looking R, I guess you can put it that way, um, inside those brackets, right? I guess I should mention that these symbols usually won't or look alike the alphabet letters that we're used to. So in some cases they will, but most of the time they will be a little off, so they'll look a little different. And that's how you can usually tell when it's a symbol, an IPA symbol. So in the presentation of the alphabets of Tegüima, we saw that that David Schall and Jesus Acuna use symbols of these ones, right? And like I said before, these symbols, the ones inside brackets, are representations of a certain sound. Um, the first two, I guess here, A and B, um, kind of coincide, right? Like they have the same letter almost, just lowercase inside the bracket. But like, take a look at G and U, the letters G and U, the goo sound. The sound is represented with a lowercase g with a little w on the top. So sometimes they're going to look a little different, the sound symbols. So what you're looking at right now is an IPA chart. And I know it's a lot to deal with, but it's actually just a bunch of categorizations of like certain different sounds. As you can see, some of these symbols are very weird looking. And you probably don't know what these symbols sound like, right? But lucky for you, I have some great websites that you can go to. This one specifically is one of my favorites just because you can press on each letter or on each symbol, sorry, and then hear um, what it sounds like or what that symbol or what sound that symbol represents. Um, you cannot hear it right now because of the recording situation, but if you go on your own time, and you click on these links, they'll take you to a bunch of, I put four on there, two in Spanish, two in English. This one's one of the English ones. But yeah, you can just click any symbol and you will be able to hear it. And yeah, like I said before, I will have all these things available to you in the presentation, so you can just go back and explore them at your leisure time. So the IPA, like I've mentioned, categorizes these sounds, right? And the way linguists categorize these sounds are through three different categories, I guess. So they take into account manner of articulation, place of articulation, and voice. There's a little typo here, but voice is voice in Spanish. So voice is, or voicing is usually has to do with your vocal cords, right? Whether a sound is unvoiced or not will depend on whether your vocal cords kind of vibrate or not. So this is a really fun exercise. You can go ahead and put your hand right on like your voice box, and when you talk, you can usually feel like little vibrations. And with the examples I have here, so we can go ahead and say the word pico, pico, the C, k, k, notice how your vocal cords aren't vibrating. So therefore, the sound of of the k sound will be an unvoiced sound. Versus, for example, like the word vengo, right? On the B example here, vengo, g, g, g. You can like feel the vibration of the G. So therefore, the G would be a voiced sound. Place of articulation basically just means like where that sound is being created, right? So, for example, for the sound, the b sound, the b sound will be a bilabial sound because it is being produced with both lips. B, b. Same thing with m, m. And this is a great diagram because you can kind of see the different sounds. And like I said, if you don't know what a sound or like what symbol that sound is, what sound that certain symbol is representing, you can go ahead and look at the websites I provided for you. So like I said, manner of articulation. There's a lot of classifications, but yeah, usually with the IPA will like, here, let me show you one more time. The IPA will kind of show you those certain characteristics, right? So like here, like the P is the plosive, but it's also a bilabial, and so forth. And so yeah, like I said, these are the resources. So if you're just curious or just want to like know a little bit more, these are great resources for you to just go and explore and at your own time too. So you can take your time with that. And so what you're looking at right now is a vowel chart. Same thing with the IPA symbols here. It is in Spanish, but I can go ahead and show you what it would look like if it was in English. So right here, right? And vowels are usually categorized whether uh, how opened or closed your mouth is, or how or the position of your tongue. So like the letter ah, notice how it says open, right? Because you would have your mouth open, say ah, and then your tongue would just be positioned like towards the front. So, ah, the tongue will move. But if it's like oh, you can notice how your mouth is kind of closed, right? Oh, so yeah, it's really cool to kind of familiarize yourself with these certain graphs. The following are examples for the sounds of yaki. Yeah, notice how there's voiceless and voiced. So you already know what that means. So voiceless, so P vocal cords will not vibrate, and then the voiced V would. And here it classifies the vowels for you. So for this IPA symbol, the V, which would be voiced, right, is produced with vibration, like I've taught you, and it's bilabial, right, because it's produced with both lips. And then if you take a look at the U sound, right, it's described as high because the tongue is high in the mouth. So ooh, ooh, kind of like feel where your tongue is when you pronounce it, and then it's round because your lips are rounded. Some sounds of pinalajo. So, for example, the letter T. The regular T would be in IPA would be considered voiceless, right? Because there is no vocal vibration. And then notice when you pronounce it. Notice where your tongue goes. So it would be classified as a dental, right? Because the tongue comes into contact with your front teeth, the upper front teeth. And then the second sound there, right? The one with the T and it looks like a very long S. That's the ch sound. Ch sound. So it's voices, right? Ch. Your vocal cords are not vibrating. And here we see that it's palatal because the tongue, the body of your tongue touches the soft palate. So ch, kind of feel where your tongue is. And this is the E sound, right? And then notice how it looks a little bit different than the regular I, right? And if you would go to the website I told you about earlier, you would be able to kind of click on the I and then hear what it sounds like. But it would still be classified as a high central vowel. Right. Tegüima vowels now, as you can see there, it's just the same vowels that Spanish has. I put this, the link that's available here is the same one I've been referring back to. Yeah. And then these are some of the sounds you will find in Tegüima, right? But these are already classified in the IPA charts. And like I said, if you don't know what these symbols stand for, go ahead and refer to the really cool websites. And now a little bit about phonology. So phonology studies the way language or each language categorizes sounds. So sometimes it even studies the patterns of sounds in the language. And it differs from phonetics because phonetics focuses on physical characteristics of sounds, and phonology focuses more on the psychological aspects. The following will be some examples of phonological rules that Shaw shares about Tegüima. So Shaw mentions that the vowels a, e, I, o, u are the same in Tegüima, or are the same in Tegüima, yeah, from Spanish. So they maintain their Hispanic value, is how he explains it. So the vowels will not change. The vowels are still the same, same Spanish vowels. Prosody. The way I would define prosody would be kind of like the rhythm, right, of certain sounds. Shaw kind of explains to us that in Tegüima, some of the vowels will appear with one of these three diacritic accent marks. And all of this information is taken from Lombardo, which is this Jesuit priest that used to document the language of Tegüima, right, like back in the day. So a lot of some of this won't really make sense because Lombardo didn't really explain it that well. But we're working with what we got. So this very first mark, right, the one with the two dots, if it's found, located like on top of a vowel, that means that vowel is pronounced double or doble, as if they were two vowels. And I will explain a little bit. I have an example later on. And if the vowel has like that backwards B symbol, it means that it would be extended, but as a single vowel, so it won't be as long as if it was as if you were producing like a double, right? But it would still be longer than a regular vowel, I guess. So this is what I mean by like some of these things are a little bit confusing, to grasp. And then if it has like that little tiny U on top, that means that the vowel will have a short duration. So instead of ah, which would be like a double, it'd just be ah, something like that. Shaw also tells us that the sounds and ch are in complementary distribution. So what this means is that where one sound occurs, the other does not. Let me explain here. So, for example, that sound appears before a, e, or o vowels, and then the ch sound appears before the I and the u. And in this little chart right here, notice how the ch sound is always in front of like a u or an I. Notice the third word, the chino. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but according to Shaw, right, the two dots on top of that I vowel, I mean that you would pronounce it as like double, right? Because two, so chino. That's just my guess. But if you have any doubts or um, anything of that sort, just go ahead and look back at the presentation. Go ahead and use the resources I provided. Um, thank you for watching.